Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel. I am Heayman and this is the Heayman podcast. And today I wanted to talk about how some games release unfinished and how, sometimes we do get poor or like mediocre game launches in the gaming industry, And this isn't something that's like new or anything like that. This has been happening for a long time. But I thought we should talk about it because it happened so much recently. And I have a list of games here that have come out in not the greatest state. And what I mean by the greatest state is like the game is completely finished in terms of gameplay, frame rate, stories, bugs, glitches, in-game content, post-game content, with the use of DLCs, microtransactions, pay to win, live services, network services, and netcode. So there's a lot of things that culminate for certain games that they need, whether it's an online game, whether it's a single player game, it needs certain things to be complete, And I think lately we've been having games that haven't come out complete, even within the last decade. Like I have a list of games here. And keep in mind, this whole podcast and like this whole topic specifically about some games releasing in mediocre states, it's just my opinion, but it doesn't mean that I'm not open-minded to seeing the change that has happened with that particular game. I'm gonna list some games off here, and then we'll talk about the problems with some of them, and other ones we'll just leave it at that. So No Man's Sky, Anthem, Fallout 4 and 76, Avengers, WWE 2K Battlegrounds, Destiny 2, Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, Sea of Thieves, Mass Effect Andromeda, Halo 5, Crackdown 3, WWE 2K20, Gears 4 and 5, and there's a whole list, of games that have come out with specific problems. Like, I remember with No Man's Sky, it came out, and it was a very lackluster and bare bones game, right? And it came out, and you couldn't do much. There was exploration, of course, and the fact that you can get different ships and whatnot, explore the planets, that was pretty cool, but like the game itself felt really empty in my opinion. And keep in mind, this is all my opinion. The game just felt empty, and I bought it day one and I still have it right here for the PS4, looking right at it. And over time it got better, right? So like there are times where games come out horrible and they come out unfinished and they have bugs and glitches or whatever it might be, but they can be redeemed. And the same thing with Star Wars Battlefront 2. It had like a huge paywall to get certain in-game content and cosmetics and skins and whatnot for beloved characters in that Star Wars series back when it came out a couple years ago. And like, look what happened. They revamped the game. They made it where you can just grind it out through in-game currency, or I think through packs. And pretty much they redeemed themselves, EA did with that. But I think for like some games that have come out, in my opinion, that have come out poor and continue to be poor, for a great example for me would be Fallout 4 and 76, And I'm not just nitpicking these two just because, but like I feel like when you play them, it just didn't feel like a finished game, and it still doesn't in my opinion. And I don't expect, like, in terms of gameplay, I don't expect it to be as smooth as a Wolfenstein game or a Doom game, in terms of how smooth the first-person shooter gameplay is. But I do expect like quality, or care when it comes to the Fallout series, and that's what I've had a problem with recently. And I think that's something that you can look at yourself and see that there's problems when these games release. And it's not to say that they can get better over time. Of course they can, like we've seen with No Man's Sky or Star Wars Battlefront 2. Games that have completely turned upside down. They did everything they need to fix the game. Even like Anthem. Anthem's getting a lot of changes, and it's trying to better itself and listen to the community, which is very important. But Fallout 76 specifically, I remember trying that out, and I just felt like the gunplay wasn't there. Like I said, I don't expect it to be like super amazing for a Fallout game, but I expect it to be like good, And in terms of content and like the world, it just felt very like rushed, and like the way it was made it didn't feel like it was finished at all when I played it. I don't know if it's too different now, But Fallout 76 is like one of the biggest examples, and same with Anthem, of like games that have come out and it's just like, what happened here, you know? And when I played 76, it had a bunch of glitches, a bunch of bugs. Um, I know Fallout story is like the most important thing. It's all about exploration, but just had a lack of story. And I get that you're supposed to play with friends, and even then, it's like I found myself not enjoying it with my friends, which is weird because I feel like any game you could play with friends should make that game more enjoyable. But I dreaded playing it alone. I dreaded playing with friends because there wasn't content, you know. And I think that's important. At least have some in-game content alongside post-game after you beat, you know, that story main mission. And I don't know, I was very disappointed with Fallout 76 because I like the Fallout series. I didn't like 4 too much, but I did 100% it. And it was alright. But I expected like 76 to have a new engine, just the gameplay to be tweaked, because it was the same problem with Fallout 4 that 76 has. Like, just the way the game plays is like, it doesn't feel modern anymore. It feels like just a 360 game when you're running around shooting stuff. It just feels very weird. And the VAT system, I mean, I guess it is cheap, but I mean, I get why they have it. Like, I just expected more, I guess, you know? And I expect the games to come out, like, finished, too. It just has those bugs and glitches, and it just kind of annoying. I mean, even with the new Avengers game that came out, you know? Amazing story. Yeah, one of the best that we've seen in a Marvel game recently, but it's like, it's getting hammered with like, you know, bugs and glitches, and even post-game content's not there. I'm not trying to be negative, you know. I'm just saying that like, games are coming out in like, states where, in my opinion, I feel like it's not finished. You know? Like Avengers, it has a great story. It does have side quests, and it is kind of like a Destiny game. It's like a live service, which we'll get into later. But it is, you know, it suffers from bugs and glitches, which it is being fixed. I did see that on their Twitter and everything, and some videos about that, so I'm happy to see, like, a game come out in, like, a bad state and then be fixed later on. I know right now what Avengers needs is a lot of post-game content to keep people even more engaged when it comes to grinding out armor. I definitely want to see, like, what they can do when they add in new characters, if they can add expansions for, like, we know Black Panther's going to be a character, right? Like, Wakanda exploration open world, you know, where you can like do some missions with friends and add some more side quests and more gear for the characters, and definitely keep up with the cosmetics and whatnot. So that's some couple of problems I had with Avengers. And Sea of Thieves, that's another one on my list right here. Sea of Thieves is like, I love the concept of it. It has such an amazing such an amazing concept. And I played it with my friends, and it's like, we get that as a PvP game, you do get to fight people, but it's like the end game content of like, why are you playing this, and like, what are you getting out of it? I just feel like every time I played with my friends, we're doing the same mission repeatedly over and over again. And yes, we're getting gold, we can get cool cosmetics, you know, cool swords and guns for the characters, but it didn't feel like it had like a grasp on me to keep me playing, you know, even longer. And I feel like since it's released up until now, even with some fixes and with some content drops, I still feel like it's still missing quite a bit of content. And I feel like the world's not alive. I wish there was more NPCs and like just more islands, like so you could see like how alive it is, you know. And it is kind of nitpicky, I guess, to say, but like when you're playing Sea of Thieves, it is beautiful looking game. It is okay to play with friends for sure, but like it doesn't feel like alive, you know. And like even the in-game content, not in-game, I'm sorry, just the content when you're playing with your friends and the side quests, it doesn't feel like it's engaging enough to want to keep you as a player to continue to play that for like months or, you know, years. I definitely hope that they can, you know, fix that for me as a fan of like pirate stuff. I think it would be cool. I definitely want to see some more NPCs, more missions, more unique missions and boss fights for sure. I know it has a couple of boss fights like the Kraken and whatnot, and some skeletons that you can fight, but I want to fight like, you know, on top of players, I want to fight like, other stuff like other NPC humans or something like that, you know. So hopefully that can be fixed, and that's another problem I had with the release, and I still have a problem with it to this day. It just doesn't feel like there's that much to do, you know? And I definitely hope it gets fixed, you know? And then what's another one? Oh, Gears 5 is a big one for me because I love the Gears series. Gears of War 5, um it came out, and it came out in the worst state it possibly could, because it had it added a live service, kind of like Fortnite, where you have a store inside of the Gears of War game, and you can get like cosmetics for Marcus or a character, like for your weapon skins, right? But you'd have to pay real money for stuff that's been in the past Gears of War games, like the past 10 years, right? And I don't really like that business practice, in my opinion. I feel like every player that plays a game should have an option of buying buying a cosmetic or a skin or whatever, or grind with in-game currency. And it actually, they fixed that recently, but when it came out, it had the issue of the gameplay wasn't there. The gameplay was really buggy. The servers were god awful, and the store just didn't make it any better, because Gears of War fans were like, we're not used to a store in a Gears of War game. We're just used to like grinding out achievements that would get you weapons or characters, or opening. I remember Gears of War 4. It was like card packs. So like you would open up a crate, and it was RNG, so it was kind of crap. But you know, that's what it was in Gears 4. You would open up a crate using your Gears currency in that game, and you would get, like, you know, select random skins and character skins. And for Gears 5, they did fix it, but it was behind a store, and you had to actually pay, and there was no other way around it. So I didn't really enjoy that, and I definitely didn't enjoy the way the game played too, because it played so differently than the Gears 4 did. It felt just way buggier, not as fluid, and I'm glad that they are currently fixing a lot of that stuff. And they did fix the store, which was a huge improvement and a step in the right direction, and especially in terms of content too. It's like you can get your favorite character skins or weapon skins by just going on the store and grinding out Gears currency, which isn't too hard to get. So it's good for any consumer that plays the game. I definitely appreciate that. But it's just, we keep running into the same problem that, like, games are coming out in these states of like it's still a game, but it doesn't feel done. And in my opinion, it's like, I don't know, I feel like that's bad, especially in the long term, and I hope it fixes with the next generation of games that we're gonna get, you know, because we got a lot of great games from this generation, and we've got a lot of games that redeem themselves. Like I said, you know, No Man's Sky, Star Wars Battlefront 2, even Gears 5, Halo 5 even, you know. All redeemed themselves in different ways, but the way they came out, it was just very, very bad. And I don't want that to be the case for future games, you know? Because in my opinion, I mean, I get their business model, you know? Quantity over quality sometimes for certain companies out there. But I really want the next generation of games to have a lot more quality in terms of gameplay, frame rate, its story, you know, care in that, because I'm a huge story-driven person. I like games with story. I like games with content as you're playing, on top of your main quest. I love post-game content, you know? And even the use of DLC, you know? If a game is good when it comes out, I am very fine getting, you know, expansions or story expansions or whatever. But if a game comes out bad, like, remember when Destiny 2 came out, I didn't enjoy going through that. And like, the DLCs, I know that a lot of people say they got way better, but like at the time, it's like, I didn't feel like giving my hard-earned money to the developers at the time, because like the main game itself wasn't too great, you know. So that was one problem I have sometimes with DLC, is like, I want to make sure the game, like, an amazing example of this actually, of a game that deserved it, was like Spider-Man for PS4 that came out in 2018. Spider-Man was a great game, and it was a huge story with a bunch of side quests on top of your main quest. And then after you beat it, you were super satisfied, and then they gave you more, you know. I'm a fan of DLC, but it has to be done correctly, you know. And another problem I see recently is microtransactions. So like pretty much having all these different things in place to get you to buy certain things in the game. When in my opinion, I get that developers need money, and I get that the development of a game costs way more than what we're paying for, right? We're paying $60, right? But the game could have cost millions to make. So I get why um, games like Halo or Gears, Fallout 76 or Anthem or Avengers or anything would ask for some type of, money from you. Or Fortnite would ask for like V-Bucks and stuff like that. Like I get why they would need the extra money or why they're, trying to get that from you, but I feel like it shouldn't be scummy and it shouldn't be something that's anti-consumer, And I think a good game that's balanced that perfectly is Fall Guys. Fall Guys, you have your season pass, and every single thing that you see in it, you can grind just by playing the game. And the great thing about it is as you grind, you get I think they're called kudos. It's the little purple coins, and that's your in-game currency. And you can get anything in the game by getting the in-game currency, even if you lose, and you get a lot of it, And you also get crowns. So in case you don't, in case you miss something, you can use crowns to get certain things in the game. And the reason why I like the kudos so much is because you can buy them with real life currency, but it's something that like you would never think about because it's very consumer friendly. Just grinding out Fall Guys with your friends or by yourself, you get so much money on there. And like you'll never miss an opportunity to get your favorite skin or a skin that you missed and it popped back up on the store. I think that the way Fall Guys is approaching in-game stores is a really good way for other developers to look at it and be like, we should do that also, And give our consumer that chance to either pay with real money or we'll just put an in-game currency that's super consumer friendly, super casual, Anybody that plays the game can get it and you can get your favorite skin that way too. Having options for your hardcore gamer or your casual gamer is very, very important in my opinion. And I think a lot of companies should definitely take that in consideration because for each series that we all love, you name it, whether it's Gears of War, Halo, Star Wars Battlefront, Call of Duty series, we have our casual fans and we have our hardcore, and I think that some businesses, see that as like a way to get money from certain people. Some businesses, like some development companies. And I just want, all these games in the future, or their future games, to have very consumer friendly ways to unlock content, And that was going off on a little rant there though. I know that the new thing that we've been seeing a lot is live service. So, your Fortnite, your Gears of War, your WWE 2K Battlegrounds, your Halo 5, it's a live service, so it's constantly getting updated. There's constantly new, even with like Apex. I use some newer games for example. Fall Guys. So it's a live service in terms of updates and patches, and you're getting content drops every week or every month or whatever it is. I definitely enjoy the live service aspect of what we're seeing with games. So I'm actually glad that it's a newer thing. I don't want to say Fortnite is the one that started it, but it's definitely the one that like put it on the map because I didn't really notice it too much up until like the last 3 years. And I think live service in the future, like I said, if done correctly, is an amazing thing, And it's an amazing way to keep your audience to come back to your specific game, And I think that's pretty good. And I think we'll see a lot of that in the future with Halo Infinite. That game's going to be the only mainline title we're going to get in terms of the Halo series for a very long time. And that game is going to be a live service. So it's going to continue to get updated, continue to add game modes or content with characters and weapons and all that, so that's pretty cool. And we'll see that even with the new Call of Duty Cold War game, you know, other game that's going to be a live service. So very interested to see how live service games, how that is going to be on next gen, and especially in the ticket moving forward, how it's going to change and evolve, whether for good or bad, you know, we'll see. But really, I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on like why I think some games that have come out recently are just like unfinished. And that's not to say that that said game is bad, you know? Like, I don't think Avengers is a bad game because it's getting updating, it's being fixed, you know? I just don't want like games in the future. And it's going to happen regardless, right? There's going to be some games that come out that's just going to be a bummer. It's not finished. That sucks. But like, I definitely just want to see more quality in terms of what you get and what you pay for your $60, you know? And I think there's a lot that I'm looking forward to, you know? I'm looking forward to Halo. I'm looking forward to new Call of Duty game. Looking forward to new Miles Morales, the Ratchet and Clank game. And like, I want all these games to be finished. And all of them are so different, you know? Some are story-based games. Some are more based in multiplayer, you know? But either way, I want the quality of that game, regardless of its gameplay or frame rate or story or PvP. It's in-game content or post. I just want it all to be good for the consumer, you know? And I don't know, I just think it's pretty fun to have this conversation. You know, me and my friends talk about some stuff like this, you know, like games coming out and just not the greatest states. And like it sucks sometimes, but like any game that comes out can be redeemed. Like it's amazing, you know? So yeah. And I just want simple, I just want quality, and I love gaming, you know? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about what you think of some games that have come out recently that weren't good. And like, what do you think of modern games nowadays? Some that come out unfinished. Like, what is your opinion on everything in terms of that game's gameplay, its frame rate, its story? Was the story good? Was it not good? You know? And tell me like what makes a game unfinished or finished in your opinion. Actually, that's the main important one. So what makes a game unfinished or finished in your opinion? Or just tell me both, you know? And I would like to see that and read those in the comments and like just have a discussion, you know? Because I assume everybody that's gonna watch this loves games. You know, we love the gaming industry. You know, we love I'll name a couple of companies. We love our Capcoms, our CD Projekt Reds, our Nintendo. You know? So like, I just definitely want to see what you guys think. 343, you know? So like, there's a lot of companies that we love, and like, we always want to see the next installment of the series that we love continue to get better, you know? So I'm definitely just excited to hear from you guys. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Comment down below, and let's have a conversation. And thank you guys for supporting me. And I will see you guys in the next podcast. You guys have a good one.